Alright, what's up, YouTube? We are back again, and I was just having a little bit of discussion with my friends, and this subject came up, and I decided, hey, let's probably do a video on this, because it's a good, interesting topic, and it's really got taken a hold a lot in this year, and I just figured I'd talk about it, and that's like hype baits versus proven baits. I've got a lot to say on this subject, so I might be stuttering here and there, but you guys are probably used to that. But, man, where do we start here? Before we get started, I want to tell you guys that what I'm about to say, like, it's not really directed at anybody, but I do believe what I'm about to say can really help you guys catch a lot more fish, as well as save some money on baits. But the swimbait community now, compared to what it used to be, I mean, it's totally different, man. I mean, you look at some of the prices that are out there. I mean, it's insane what you guys can spend on a single hard bait, and a lot of that comes down to what I like to call hype. And hype is like classified into a couple different things can make a bait hype. It could be like a high price tag, a beautiful paint job, or like some rare or like limited edition. There's a lot of things that can contribute to hype, but mostly it revolves around having something that's somewhat rare and unique in a sense. And what that really entails to you as a fisherman is you think that like being different would a lot of times like result in a lot more bites, right? But what I'm about to tell you, I mean, it kind of contradicts that. But best I can say this is like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you guys like who spend all your money on these like this one bait. I mean, your money could be going towards different ways. I mean, to each their own. You guys can spend your money however you want, but this is like my advice, and this is like really what I did and how I was able to narrow down my selection and pick out baits that really worked for me. And that mainly comes down to like baits having a proven track record. I really feel like that baits that have a proven track record are really worth your time and money to learn and to be fishing, because there's a reason that those baits work. They clearly have something, whether that be tail movement, action, the way the bait is set up, or how it's meant to be fished, or whatever, that makes that bait successful. The fish don't really care that much about what a bait costs. All right, the fish don't care that you pay $400 for a bait. What they do care about is how that bait swims and how it triggers them to react to it. And I feel like that certain baits can do that better than others, obviously. But what I'm getting at is you don't need to spend $400 to catch a bass, or a big bass at that. There's been plenty of giant fish caught on $30 Huddlestons, and yeah, people still buy those baits, but they don't really like praise about them as much as like something that's rare, like for example like a Piz. Like right now, that's kind of like the hot bait is like a Piz. Like if you can get your hands on a Piz, like you're like considered big time in this community, I guess. But I guess that's really what separates the fishermen from like the social media people and the people who are really doing it to like try and get attention and whatnot. That's the best way I could put it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to like offend anybody here. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I do feel like that in like this market, like you can go broke trying to buy these baits. And what I'm really trying to do for you guys here is I'm trying to help you guys narrow down your selection, so you don't end up spending all these money on baits and getting ripped off and whatnot. But man, people will do crazy things for a bait. I mean, I've seen some stuff. I've seen people trading tens of other baits for this one hype bait, and I just shake my head, man, because it's not really what I do. But I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you guys narrow down your selection, try and catch more fish. And what I'm trying to say really here is, don't put your time and effort into the latest hype bait. Like I'm talking to fishermen here. If you guys want to like post about your bait or how cool it is, whatever, that's fine. I'm not getting at that. I'm just talking to the people who are actually going to fish the baits here and fish them hard at that and really use them as tools to catch and fool the biggest bass in your lake. The fish doesn't care that you paid $400 for your bait, like I said. But like I said, like there's like a certain line here between like proven baits and what I call like hype baits. Like hype baits are usually the hardest to get. They're usually the ones that sell out within 2 minutes on a drop. They usually draw insanely high flipper aftermarket prices, and they're usually the most sought after. But you don't really hear a bunch of people talking about HUDs or depths 250s or anything. Yeah, depths 250 is cool and all, but what's that compared to when you got something that nobody else has? I guess that's kind of like the way all these new guys are getting into it. I'm not trying to bash anybody here. I want to make that very clear. I'm trying to help point you guys in a direction that I use to help me become more successful in this thing and help you guys catch more fish. That's what this is all about. This isn't about like bashing anybody or anything. I really think that if you're going to spend a good chunk of money, whether that be 150, 70, 80 bucks, whatever you think is like a kind of like the top end of your limit, I think that you should do a lot of research on the bait. think you should look up swim videos, how the baits swim, and compare them to the baits that you already have, so you already know like how that bait will fit into your arsenal. Like the DRT, I knew that bait would fit into my arsenal, even though it's a little bit of a hype bait. I mean, it's definitely gone down now that they're starting to become more available. But I knew that bait would fill in a niche in my arsenal because I don't really have any crankdowns. And the DRT can crank down, and it can glide, and it can do a lot of different things that these other baits can't. And that's really what sets it apart from your typical glide bait, in my opinion. And baits like that are definitely worth it. And the Clash 9 is a proven bait. There's been tons of big fish caught on it. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that big fish won't eat piz. I'm saying that compared to like the track record that a Depths 250 or a HUD or a Batesmith or even like a Hinkle, any of those baits has, there's been tons more big fish caught in a wide variety of circumstances, conditions, than on a piz. But a lot of that has to do with the piz being out, 2, 3, 4 years, whereas HUD's been out more than 10 years now. But the HUD did so well in such a short period of time that you knew it was going to be a proven bait. Like, that's probably the first bait I picked up was a HUD, just because it is that proven bait that you know works, and that gives me a lot of confidence to be able to chuck that and put it in the right places, as well as using that confidence to be able to know what the bait's doing and to help me catch more fish. And like I said, research the bait. Like, research how it's meant to be fished, what gear you should fish it on so you're not staffing baits off. This is just general advice for like the beginner swim baiter is don't get sucked into all these like insane prices and these detailed paint jobs and all this other stuff. Just buy some baits that are proven, that have been proven to work time and time again, different parts of the country. Just because one guy's catching fish on a bait doesn't mean it's the right bait for you. And that's really like what this comes down to is you gotta find the bait that works for you and what you have the most confidence in. Like for me, that bait is probably the Arashi Glide. I mean, that bait was proven in the prototype stages. Yeah, sure, it might not have caught as many big fish as HUD, but it was definitely proven. And I picked that bait up. I had a lot of confidence in it. I was able to put it where I wanted to put it. I was able to use that bait, and I've caught multiple 6-pounders on that bait, which that's a big one here in Northern Illinois. If you can get one over 6, I mean, you've done something. And yeah, that's really a lot of the stuff I have to say. I mean, just don't get sucked into the hype. Do research on your baits. Don't just stay with what you know works and what you have confidence in. Because if you don't have confidence in bait, you're not going to throw it. You're not going to catch them at all. Just stay with what baits are proven out there. Don't get sucked into like any of these paint jobs. Like I said, I'm not bashing anybody. Just try not to get sucked into these huge like baits. Like if a bait does something unique and you think that it'll fit into your arsenal, fine. You should probably like do a little bit more research and look into that bait. But the main message I'm trying to send you guys here is just because it's $300 doesn't mean it's going to catch you any bigger fish than a $30 bait or a $40 bait or a $100 bait. Fish don't care what you pay for it. What matters is the action on it and how you work it, if that makes any sense. So I hope that work helps for you. With that said, I'm going to be working on shooting another swim bait video here with all my latest glide baits, whether that be the Hinkle Trout, the Clash, the Depths, the Bait Sanity with both tails. They just came out with a new tail for it. I'll be showing you guys all that stuff. So and that might help you guys in your decision. If you see a bait that works in one of my videos, I mean, that's greatly appreciated. Just let you guys know, like, I'm doing this to help you guys. I'm not doing this to, like, my personal gain. I'm doing this because, like, fishing is my passion, and I love to teach people about what I've known and what I've gathered over the years that I've been doing this. So hope that helps, and yeah, we'll be shooting that swim bait video soon, hopefully. Hopefully I get some better footage of the baits, and hopefully it'll help you guys judge your decision, because these baits, I mean, they cost a lot of money, and it can be overwhelming, especially with the amount of options they have on the market. So yeah, rant's over. That said, hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. See you next time.